Hi everyone, welcome to UTV Gooner and our show, The Shooting Lone Star with Ram from the Austin Gooners. Hi bro, how are you?
What's up, man? Doing good. It's a big riding high. It's been an incredible week. It's been an incredible month so far, and I'm just hoping we can keep it going. We've got the local Austin FC team just entered the playoffs. Game is on Sunday. So as I was saying before, we hopped on camera like before and or Sunday. It's gonna be a big day for me and all the Austin Gooners, man, because we'll be 8 a.m. at the pub drinking and watching Leeds, and then going straight to the stadium to get ready to watch our local team in the MLS playoffs. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be a great Sunday, hopefully.
Yeah, I wish your team, Austin FC, the best of luck in the playoffs.
Yeah,
Let's hope it's a double celebration for you.
oh
Austin
yeah.
win and we beat Leeds as well. So yeah, bro, let's talk about the Liverpool game. We were talking on last week's show. Huge game for us, big test. We know what a good team Liverpool are, even though they've had a bad start to this season. And they gave us a really hard game. They scored two really good goals, but we played so well and deserved our win. So many outstanding performances for us. Martinelli getting that early goal in the first minute, assist, Saka two goals, took his penalty really well. A lot of pressure on that penalty, put it away so nicely. And overall, just a great performance from so many of our players. Tommy Yasu got to shut him out as well. Came in that left back, big call from Arteta. We could have put Tini there, but he went for Tommy Yasu and he played so well. Salah didn't see him all game, so much so they took him off. And we know how good a player Salah is. So yeah, it's just an outstanding performance. What are your thoughts?
Dude, I think I've watched at least not the full replay, but like the 10 to 15 minutes leading up to all the goals, and then like the last 20 minutes of the game. Like, yeah, I've watched it so many times this week, man. Whenever I have downtime, I was so excited. And I don't know. I probably told you about it like on the show last week, but like at the bar as well, talking with people. As long as I've been an Arsenal fan, it hasn't been Manchester United, it hasn't been Tottenham, and it hasn't been really any other team that kind of upsets me or scares me as much as Liverpool has. Like for me, that's the team that when we're able to beat them, I thought, okay, now we have something going on here. So for me, like this is the game I had circled in my calendar. Like, man, I just really want us to get 3 points on these guys, man, because they've been embarrassing us as long as I've been watching. I know we stole a couple of games like during the restart, and that one was kind of like not really like a genuinely good feeling win. It's kind of like they had already claimed the title. It was kind of a fluky win for them, for us, I mean. But this one was like legit. Like, I mean, we're top of the table. I can liken it to a whole bunch of rivalry games where the team I've been rooting for finally gets over that hump and finally gets over that mental block of beating this other team. And um, I mean, that's just it's a lot of happy emotions about that, man. Which is why I've been listening to every podcast talking about Premier League because I want to hear like what other people who don't necessarily pull for Arsenal say about this match. And so yeah, I just been riding high on it, man, and really enjoying uh emotionally, man. And then if you think about the specifics of the game, I mean our young guys took over the game, right? Martinelli, Bukayo Saka, that goal in the first minute was just absolutely insane. Like at the bar, half it was just half like, did that really happen? And then like when it did happen, it was just like, holy shit, like here we go. Um, I will admit that I was a little like someone pointed it out too, and I kind of agree with it. Like a goal like that is kind of the best and the worst. Like it's the best, right? Because it gets you into the game, you're excited, but it's the worst because now you're spending the rest of the game just hoping you can get the lead, like keep the lead. And it was everything I expected that game to be. Yeah, the comebacks. But every time they came back, we were able to just kind of put it together and and take the lead back. And right as soon as the 5 minute mark went up right before halftime, and they put up the 5 extra minutes, I just remember talking to people around me and saying like, let's just get into halftime, 1-1. whatever. Let's just kill the like. Let's just do whatever we got to do to go into the half 1-1. Like that's all I wanted, man. Because you know, again, as long as I've watched Arsenal, like right before halftime is just always like terrifying, and we always seem to just give up a silly, simple goal right before half. But we turned the tables, man, and we were able to turn it around, counterattack on a free kick, and go up ahead, and that was just like again euphoria, bro. And then yeah, that penalty kick. I'll admit that maybe the penalty was a little soft, you know, like a lot of people were saying that, but I would also counter like we have gotten a lot of those calls against us. So it finally feels good like all right, let's turn it around. Let's get some of those calls. We deserved it if anything, and Bukayo Saka, man, Starboy just put it away, and then just the last 15 20 minutes felt like a combination of celebration and also just like complete just anxiety, just wanting the clock to run out and wanted to hear that whistle. And when it finally did happen, it was just like, all right, finally did it. I'm not going to go ahead and say that we're champions or championship contenders. Like, I don't think we're going to, I don't think right now that's even a realistic thing to even talk about. But like, we're taking steps toward it. And this is a really big win for this team. Um, yeah, it's a huge win, something that like we needed to have happen. Two games back to back where players or people were saying like, who have Arsenal beat yet so far? Well, we've beaten Tottenham and Liverpool 2 weeks in a row. So yeah, I mean, as the announcer, the U.S. announcer, and during the game said, like Arsenal have announced that they're here and they're here to stay. So who knows what happens? But right now, like it's absolutely incredible. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was amazing. I got to talk about the referee, though, as much as I don't really like talking about referees, but he was giving us a heart attack. So added 5 minutes, which okay, I understand that. But then to add 3 extra minutes on top of the 5 minutes was ridiculous.
Yeah.
I just don't know what he was doing. Because it was like he's trying to give Liverpool one more chance to try and equalize. Really frustrating.
That's what I felt like. Do you remember? I don't. There was another game that Liverpool played earlier in the season where they stole a draw, and it was like in the 95th minute, but they had only added like 3 minutes or some shit like that. Same situation, and that's exactly what I thought. Like, damn, they're really trying to give Liverpool every benefit of the doubt because there's absolutely no way that that much time should have been added, man. Like, it was, yeah, it was definitely, it was very annoying. Um, And there was actually a moment, like I don't even, and I tried to watch it on the replay, like exactly what moment we at the bar actually thought that the whistle had blew, and we started celebrating. And then somebody had to point out, like, "Hey, man, the game's still going on, like it hasn't happened." And they still had that like kick into the box, like in the 97th, 98th minute. So that was we almost like I was almost there, like, oh god, like we started celebrating, like we're about to bring on a draw here, man. But I don't know, man. Yeah, it seems like that the referee definitely wanted to give them as many chances as possible, which I don't know, man. I don't. I'm not really into the specifics of like how a referee judges extra time, but like that was excessive, man. And I'm really again that just added to the anxiety and then added to the relief and the excitement that I felt at the end when we finally pulled it off. Because yeah, it's a monumental win, man. A very historic win, I think, for a lot of the players and their careers, and also for Mikel Arteta as a manager. And depending on how this season turns out, this is going to be one of those I guess landmark victories that we'll kind of look back on and just be like, this was the day, man. So I hope we can continue to build on the momentum that we've been putting together these first few games because uh, what I saw out there was amazing. It was an amazing win for us.
Yeah, it really was. And then we went on to the Europa League last night and won again. We've been doing so well in the Premier League, 8 wins out of 9. We've won all our Europa League games as well. We've seen Arteta rotating the team a lot. So yesterday that he brought in the likes of Saliba, Saka. Ben White, so he's trying to mix it up. Give some of the inexperienced players in the team the chance, but as well as have some experienced players with him. And it's working really well. It's difficult balancing that for him, obviously, because we know in October there's like so many games. We're playing midweek, weekend, all the way through. So doing so well. Last night wasn't like a great performance. You could see we got ahead, got the goal, and then just kind of played within ourselves. We did have a couple of chances. We saw a really good performance from Matt Turner. Got to shout him out. Amazing from him. We saw he's very good with his feet, so we're playing quite a high line, and many times he's having to come out and get to the ball, clear it. His passing, range of passing was great as well. Made a couple of good saves in the game as well. So really good performance from him. I know you know a lot more about him than I do, but he's looking good. And again, as I say, the game wasn't the best of performances. We got the 3 points, got the job done, and we're looking good now to move on to the next stage.
Yeah, I went to the pub. I took like an extra lunch break to hang out with some of the guys. So we had a good time there. It it wasn't like the best performance, yeah, as we said, but I kind of was okay with that just because we were rotating a few pieces, and um, again, not every game is going to be perfect, even if it's a win, right? Like I almost felt like I had to be reminded. A friend of mine who's actually ironically a big Liverpool fan, but like uh I was a little bit disappointed. He was just like, "Hey man, like not all these games are always going to be great. Like the situation has to factor in it. Like we were in like deep into the Arctic Circle in Norway. It was cold. It was rainy. We were playing like an artificial turf. Um, so it just wasn't ideal. Like and we kind of fought through all the adversity and held on to a victory, right? We scored early. Bukayo Saka, it was kind of a lucky bounce, right? It kind of off his face. But I mean, as I always say with luck, like, yes, sometimes it is, you can attribute it to luck, but at the same time, especially in a sport like football, like, you got to be in the right place at the right time to even benefit from what you would call luck. So that's what I think that was, right? So we chalk it up. You take it, right? It counts. Doesn't count any less because it might have been a little lucky. Um, and yeah, I thought overall, like, there was a lot more to be desired, and I thought we could have definitely played better, but there was still like a lot of good things to enjoy. Like I thought Sambi Lakonga again, like I mean he even though he gave the ball away a couple times that led to like some good chances for Bodo Glimt. Um I think overall he was very tidy, played really well. So I enjoyed watching him. I enjoyed seeing Tomiyasu come in again and spell Ben White. Marquinhos didn't really like do anything or really set the world on fire. Reese Nelson, I'm a little worried about. Like I'm kind of hoping it's a fitness thing. I don't think like he really showed out. Like he's one of those players like kind of like where Eddie Nketiah was last year, right? Like you got to really take advantage of your opportunities. Um, and then when to Eddie Nketiah, I thought he could have, him, Reese Nelson, and Eddie Nketiah are two players that I thought like I was kind of hoping they'd play better than they did. I mean, they were active, they were all over the place, but they just really weren't decisive or anything like that. Like, I mean, Eddie probably, if he was a little bit more of a, clinical, finisher, he probably could have scored maybe one or two there. But and yeah, as you mentioned, yeah, Matt Turner is looking a lot better, right? And it looks like he's definitely gonna be in line to be the number one goalkeeper for the USA in the World Cup, which is really speaking well for, I guess, what the coaches are saying about him, his work ethic and training. But also, I mean, he's only gotten the chances he has had, he's taken advantage of them to the fullest. And um, I've mentioned maybe earlier a lot of people don't know too much about him, but he's a little bit of a late bloomer. Didn't start playing soccer until like late in high school, like in right before college, and then he's played really well in the MLS. The year before he signed with us, I think he was given the Goalkeeper of the Year award, right? So pretty prestigious award. He's a pretty solid shot stopper. Again, MLS is not necessarily in line with some of the best leagues in Europe. I don't even think like I'd probably put him right along there with like Ligue 1 in France, maybe. But like, yeah, it's not as great. But I mean, he's still competitive, so it's good. I think he's a solid backup goalkeeper, right? I don't think we're in a position where we have like two number ones. I think we've got Aaron Ramsdale, and then we've got Turner, who's going to be a solid number two. I was a little nervous seeing Ramsdale, kind of looking a little injured against Liverpool, and seeing Turner like starting to put tape on and shit like that. I was like, I don't know if I want him to come in against Liverpool, but for a game like this, like I'll take it every day, So looking forward to see him continue to carry on in the Europa League, man. Because I think he's earned his spot pretty pretty solidly, and even for like maybe some Carabao Cup games and FA Cup games, I think he's starting to work his way up to be able to start those games as well. So we'll see, man. But overall, like could have been better, but whatever. We'll take the 3 points. We're a step closer to clinching qualification and avoiding like the round of 32, right? So um, that's what's most important. And then now it's on the lead. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure, bro. Take it game at a time, as Arteta was saying. We just concentrate on winning our games, which are going on every 3 days. We're doing that. It's been an amazing start. 8 wins out of 9 in the Premier League. Won all our Europa League games. People were saying, okay, we've had a great start, but they're like, you haven't really played anyone yet. But now we've had 2 really difficult games in a row. Tottenham and Liverpool beat both of them, and we're nearly 10 games in now. So it's a real good sample size to say that we are looking really good.
Yeah,
And, we don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but I want to ask you, what's your thoughts now on how our season's looking?
incredible, man. I mean, we are a dangerous side, and the thing I enjoy about all our wins and even that loss is we're consistent in like the way we want to play, and regardless of who's in the starting lineup, regardless of whoever's in, right? Even with the substitutions we do, the mindset doesn't change, and we're showing up and we're attacking, and we're looking to score on counters as quick as possible. Um, and I think I really like our defensive setup, and I like how we're playing there. Like we've got one track mindset, and I'm really like I think that's the makings of a championship team. Again, like I said, I hate getting ahead of myself and start thinking like that, but like this is from my experience watching football and seeing how good these teams are. The number one, like the main characteristics you see when you see like the cities and Liverpools and teams that were challenging for the title the past 4 or 5 years is week in and week out, no matter who's in the starting lineup, they're consistent in their approach. And you may see some adjustments to account for the way the other team plays, but like again, it's always just like, well, like screw whatever the other team does. Like we're gonna play our game, and I think as you said, a good sample size of what we've seen is like we're gonna play our game regardless of who the other opponent is and where we're playing. So I'm liking the progress we're making, and we're starting to separate ourselves as a team that's should be commanding a little bit more respect. And I'm still hoping. I like my mindset is still like I want us to continue to solidify our position for top four first and foremost, like in my head, and then it's almost like winning the league right now is secondary. As funny as counterintuitive as that is to say, like I kind of am thinking that way. Like I just want us to secure top four, and then if the more we can kind of say, okay, that's good. All right, like now let's start going for the title. Um, I don't know if like the players are even thinking that. I like that their approach, their mantra seems to be game by game. Take it game by game, one at a time. Every week is whatever game that's up next is the one that matters. And I like that. I like hearing them say that. Kind of like last year. Last year was like we're on to the next one, on to the next one. This year it seems to be just game by game. will worry about Leeds, and after Leeds, they're just going to be like, hey, it's on to PSV Eindhoven or whatever they're called. Like that's who we're going to worry about. And so, yeah, I like it, man. I love the separation. I'm looking at the table right now, and I'm loving, especially above Tottenham. 4 ahead of them. 8 ahead of Chelsea, 9 ahead of United. Uh, what is it? Liverpool 14 ahead. Like, oh, that's the best one. So yeah, man. I just want to keep us stay. Us. I want us at the top of the table as long as possible, man. So I'm loving it right now. I cannot wait to just kind of get past the World Cup, almost just kind of just get right back into it, and then boom, let's go. So I'm enjoying it, man. I'm living the high life right now because, like I said, when I first started watching, man, it was not a very good product on the field. There wasn't much to root for, and this is the first time I've ever seen Arsenal as a fan top of the league, and I'm just showering in the emotions and the excitement in it. So I don't want it to end. So yeah, another win, please.
Yeah, let's hope we can continue like this. It's been an amazing start. Just got to keep taking it game by game. So next game is Leeds.
Hmm.
Uh, Easy win there last season, but they were going for a real bad time. They seem to be better this season, so it's not going to be an easy game. What's your thoughts on that one?
Well, one thing, they've got an American coach and they've got 2 Americans that have actually looking good. In what's the name? So Jesse March is the coach who took over last year. Yeah, when they were going through that tough time. But 2 midfielders, Tyler Adams and Brendan Aronson. Brendan Aronson had that spectacular showing against Chelsea. He stole it from the goalkeeper and scored like an easy goal, like which totally like fired up the crowd. Um, they are again like I think they're one of those teams that continue to scare me in a sense that they're gonna come full speed ahead, kind of like us. Like they're gonna play their game regardless. Um, new manager hasn't meant a new philosophy or new style. Like Jesse Marsh is still playing Leeds the way they were as long as they've been back in the Premier League. Like again, 100 miles an hour, they're gonna go at you. Um, but they're just not getting the results. They haven't been looking very good lately. So I think, we'll go in and I think we're going to get the win. I just don't think it's going to be easy early on. It may be one of those times we might see some funky weather there as well. Who knows? I haven't even looked at like the weather forecast for wherever they're playing. They're playing at Leeds or whatever. So I don't know exactly where that is. But uh I think I remain confident. Even after the match we just saw yesterday, I think, in a sense, as I said, it's good that we went through some adversity. I think that bodes well for the next game because I think that's going to fire up Arteta. That's going to fire up the players to be like, hey, look how close we were to losing that one against a team we should be better than. Like it can happen. You know what I mean? Even though we're continuing to win, we're not invincible yet. So we just got to keep going. So I think it'll be a tough game early on, but I think we pull away comfortably. So yeah, I don't know. I'm excited, man. I want us just to get to it. You know, I'm glad that the games are just coming thick and fast because you can't really dwell on the previous game. You just got to go to the next one and you got to be ready. So, and so far, our boys are showing that they're able to handle this intense schedule. You know.
Yeah, for sure. It's showing we've got good squad depth. We've seen players come in, able to play in different positions. Good example of that's Tommy Yasu, coming in playing at left back against Liverpool. We know he can play at right back, he can play at centre back. Many options, like Zinchenko, can play in midfield, left back. So it's looking really good in terms of our squad depth. We know there's a couple of areas where, like centre midfield, we could be a little bit stronger. If Partey gets injured, we will be worried. I was worried a little bit last night, like when he came on in the last 5 minutes, like
Yeah.
please don't get injured. But it's same with Gabriel Jesus as well. We don't, hopefully he can stay fit for the whole season, and if he has any injuries, they're minimal. But yeah, so it's looking good. Just got to keep it going. As I say, Arteta's with a rotation as well. You can see how he's trying to do it, changing it around. So in the Europa League, we saw Martinelli was playing a couple of earlier games. Last night we saw Saka playing. saying that Ben White was playing yesterday with Saliba. Before that, Gabriel and Xhaka were playing. So he's rotating it around, and we're hoping that our players will be ready, fresh, no injuries. Really busy October. It's been a great start. Let's hope we can get the 3 points against Leeds. What's your correct score prediction for that one?
Oh, I'm gonna say 4-1. Like, I think it'll be a. I don't. I think it'll be on level terms early on. I think we'll see the score line be 1-1 at some point, but I think the quality of our team and just the relentlessness of our attack is going to just eventually take over. Um, so I'll say 4-1. What do you
Okay.
think?
Yeah, I think I was
Yeah,
getting closer with predictions. Yeah, so I said 3-1. So I said 4-1 against Tottenham, didn't I? It was
yeah, you
3-1.
did.
And I said 3-1 against Liverpool, ended up being 3-2. So one goal out on both occasions. This one I'm gonna go for I think I think I'm gonna keep a clean sheet in this one. And as much as Leeds have got a lot of threats, I think we're gonna have too much for them defensively. It's gonna be one of them games like against Crystal Palace. We'll shut them out, get a couple of goals. I'm going for 2-0.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so real big game this weekend for what you could say. I know it's early days to say this, can't really say it, it's too soon, but our title rivals, as we are top of the league right now, Manchester City have got a huge game. They're going away to Anfield against Liverpool. We're hoping for Liverpool to do us a favour in that one. Obviously, our main thing is, as you were saying, we want to make sure we get the Champions League. But while we're up there, and we are amongst it with Man City. When more times that they drop points and lose games are better for us, who knows? We've seen strange things happen. We've seen what happened with Leicester. So hopefully Liverpool get the win in that one. What's your thoughts on that game?
Yeah, man. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's good to dream, right? Like it's good like to keep an eye yeah, we are also on top of the table and I'm enjoying that. So as long as we are on top of the table and up there competing, I want to see our competitors for top of the table lose. So yeah, man, I want to see City lose to Liverpool at Anfield. I feel like Liverpool again, even though we did look good against them, they also look good against us as well. Like they're a good team, I think that is struggling still, but they're not going to go away easily. And so I see them, they're still a team that's going to be dangerous, as we saw, right? We watched the whole game. They were dangerous the whole time. I mean, they still dominated possession against us. They scored some really good goals and capitalized on like some basic mistakes that we made, and all of a sudden, before you know it, like boom, it's tied again. And you're like, God damn it! Like we had this. Um, so yeah, so I still think like they're no pushovers. It sucks for them that Luis Diaz is going to be out until after the World Cup. He was really probably like their best attacker. They got Darwin Nunez back, scored a couple times in a row. Mo Salah seems to be fired up. So yeah, I kind of hope that they're going to ride on some of their own momentum and put a beating to City. I think it'll be a close match. I think last year was one of those, like it was a really good 2-2 draw, like probably one of the best games of the season. Maybe we'll see a repeat of that, something exciting. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and root for Liverpool to win though. Like I think the scoreline will be reversed for them this week and they'll win like 3-2 with Haaland again doing his work, but I think maybe Liverpool will be a little bit more gritty and try and bounce back from. Seems like they hit a rock bottom when they lost to us, so hopefully that kind of fires them up at least for this game, right? And then yeah, 3-2, I'll say to Liverpool because I'd like to see us start to separate a little bit on top of the table.
Yeah, that'll be amazing. It's going to be a tight game. We've seen in recent history Liverpool play really well against Man City. I think we've got a really good record of them recently. So hopefully they can go get the win, or worst case, get a draw and take a couple of points off them. They looked good as well in the Champions League game midweek, completely destroyed Rangers 7-1. So they're going to have some confidence now going into that. Mo Salah got a hat trick in that one as well. So there, let's hope they can get the win there. So let's discuss some of the other games before we go. Tottenham are playing on the Saturday. If they've got Everton at home.
Yeah, Everton has been kind of playing teams tough. They're not terrible like last year, but they're still not good either. 12th in the league, 10 points. Yeah, I mean they're right there, right with Liverpool, right? Tottenham, man, they just keep getting lucky. I don't know how long that's going to be sustainable, man. Because when they play good teams like us, they get battered. So Jeez, man. I feel like Tottenham is going to get lucky again against Everton, but it's going to be like another 1-0 win. They're just not very fun to watch at all, man. I'm kind of annoyed that they're the seem to be like they always seem to get at least in America, right? They get the prime time starts, right? That they're always getting the 10:30, the 11:30 games, which for us, at least for football, for English football, that's like the good time, right? If you get that time slot, that's the good one. So very annoying that they continue to get that love, but whatever, man. 1-0, I guess we'll say Tottenham. I think they're just gonna get lucky. I'm not picking them because I'd like them to win or whatever. Just, they keep getting lucky. I hate them.
Okay. On the Sunday, Chelsea have got Aston Villa.
Uh Aston Villa, man, I don't know what to say about them. Like they're looking pretty bad right now. Sucks for them. They got a lot of players hurt. So I think Chelsea is going to end up pulling away with that one. Probably relatively easy. 2-0, I would say.
Okay, and Man United are playing Newcastle.
Oh, that's going to be a fun one to see, huh? Newcastle's like they're trying to shake things up a little bit. They're also going to miss like their big guy, big signing Alexander Isak, I think. Yeah, I watched the United game yesterday. They didn't look very good playing against a team from Cyprus, a little tiny island that has 2 million people total. And United had to struggle and score late to win. I like Newcastle on this one, man. I think Newcastle pulls the upset. I don't think it's necessarily upset in terms of team quality, but upset in terms of like the names, right, and the stature. Newcastle's sixth in the table, but I think they jump over United this week. I think it's something like 2-1. But I don't like United. They don't look very threatening.
Yeah, they looked really poor yesterday, and we're very lucky to get that injury time winner. So yeah, it's looking really good for us when you look at the Champions League situation. Big gap on Liverpool, as you're saying, got a lead on all of them. Man United, Chelsea have been winning games, but they haven't been looking so good as well. Tottenham, as we know, we're just beating them, got a gap on them as well. So it's looking good. Just got to keep concentrating on ourselves. If, as you said, we can push Man City and challenge them, that would be great. But just keep concentrating on ourselves. Let's get that win against Leeds. And then next week as well, a big game against PSV. So we want to seal our place at the top of our group because we know we are discussing this earlier off air that the way they've made it this year. If you don't finish top and you finish second, you have to play the teams dropping out the Champions League, and it could be the likes of Barcelona and Juventus there. And also on top of that, we don't really want them 2 extra games. It's going to be even more games. So we
Yeah,
want to make sure we're finishing top. So it's a big week. Let's hope we can get 2 wins. And I look forward to discussing with you that next week. Thanks for your time, bro.
yeah, man. Always a pleasure. I hope I'm wrong in some of my predictions. Right, I picked all our top four competitors to win, basically, but I hope I'm wrong on at least some of them. But we'll see what happens. And yeah, next week, looking forward to speaking with you on a couple other games that we're playing, and hopefully, I'll be talking about another home game for Austin FC. Yeah, it's getting intense, man. I'm having a great time. Great October versus the dreadful September that we had, right? So it's been great, and I'm looking forward to it, man. So have a great weekend, bro, and we'll talk soon.
Thanks, bro. You too. So that's all from us. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please remember to subscribe, like, and share.